Welcome to the worst nightmare of all. Reality.
Explore the lesser-known stories of our unknown world. Join the pursuit of the paranormal with Ash and Greg.
Hello, Ash. How are you?
Very well, very well. Recovering from a night on the town, shall we say?
It was, yeah, Chester Town.
Chester
Is it a town or city? Chester.
City.
Is it?
Yeah.
So night, yeah. A beautiful place it was.
Yeah, it's
A
nice
very
old,
architecturally
very old.
nice.
Yeah.
Very old school. So yeah, we were in Chester, and we hit Chester about 7:30, roughly, till about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
This morning. Hence why we are both very tired.
And a bit late getting this episode out.
Yeah. But I think it's worthwhile, especially with the other bits we got planned as well.
Yeah,
so.
for good reason. So what were we doing in Chester, Greg?
Well, if anybody guessed from the teaser that I put up on social media today, apart from the fake photoshopping, which was a genuine picture of us, we were at my haunted hotel in Chester.
Yeah.
Making good conversations that we've had with Danny before, where we said we'd get up and record an episode, and we kind of did. So this is sort of almost an episode of two parts. We've got this one that you're listening to right now, that we're going to talk about all the things that happened, intersplice it with some of the evidence that we captured.
Kind of like a highlights of the best moments from the night.
Yeah. And then what we're going to be doing for our Patreon subscribers, big shout out, that we effectively recorded an episode live whilst we were there last night.
Yeah.
As we are making our way through the evening and into the morning, with a roundup and also a lot of the evidence that you're hearing now, the whole section of how it came about and the conversations around it. And you even get to hear Danny talking to us on the walkie-talkies, telling us to move rooms, and so that is going to be available probably tomorrow now for the Patreon guys. So that's Wednesday. Wednesday tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is, and that will be only available on Patreon till the end of the month. Exclusive. Yep. So anybody who wants to listen to it sooner, get over to Patreon. And then at some point in the future, it'll be released for free. So, and as you'll hear as we go on, to be able to listen to the raw footage that we captured on audio with all the things that we're going to talk about that happened to us, it'll bring back a lot of memories for us, for definite. And we tried to record a lot of stuff and little roundups and whatnot for you, and describing it all at the start and everything. So it's an interesting piece of audio. It will be.
It's the first time we've kind of done anything like this. Both this episode kind of recapping and the sort of releasing all the raw audio footage. We have like the video footage. Obviously, this is audio, so it'd be the audio footage. But we could put some up on social media once it's been out.
Yeah, we got some good video, but we'll come on to that as well to accompany the audio. So, so should we crack on? So we hit up Chester. We were lucky enough to get a parking space right outside the hotel after having a lovely little pre-haunted paranormal investigation meal, because it's a little trek for Ash, quite a giant trek for me. So much so that I got in at 6 o'clock this morning. That's brutal.
I guess if we talk about the hotel itself,
Yes.
first, I mean it's known as My Haunted Hotel, but the actual pub hotel is the Old King's Head Hotel.
Yes.
And just going off what Wikipedia says about it, the kind of the foundations of it were built in 1208.
Wow.
So getting on for towards 1,000. So over 800 years old. The foundations.
Wow.
But kind of the building that's there now was built in the 17th century, 1622, I believe it is. And kind of how it is now, it's that old. It looks with the white and black beam style.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of style that is, but yeah,
it's Tudor.
Tudor. Yeah, because all the footballers have mock Tudor houses and that, don't they? Exposed beams and that kind of stuff. You know exactly what we're talking about.
There's a lot of buildings like that in Chester. As we walk around, there's lots of this old architecture that's been kept.
Yeah, beautiful place, and it's almost unassuming at one point when you sort of walk up. When you don't look up, when you're at street level, just sort of talking and whatnot. The only thing that you'd know to suggest it is what it is this big blue poster saying "My Haunted Hotel" above a door. But apart from that, it's quite unassuming. Just blends in with all the other buildings, and
as you go in, they themed it really well.
Mm-hmm.
And they themed it around the haunted pub hotel theme. There's dolls and different things downstairs in the pub area.
Yes. Yeah.
Sort of low ceilings as it always was back then, and it's quite dark but it's really well they've done it. It's really, really just a good place to go for a drink as well. It's really
and it was nice bustling
pub.
when we were in there. There's a lot of people in there just having a drink and
could get a seat,
some food. Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. So that it was right from the start. It felt a nice place.
Yeah.
So we sat down for a little bit, just chewing the fat whilst we were waiting for the evening to start, and then in walks friend of the show, Danny Moss. And after some brief hellos and that, we all made our way
upstairs
to like a reception room.
Briefing room.
But it's like a big open bar sort of area with tables and whatnot. But it like had the most the My Haunted Hotel big cinema screen with it all flickering and that and everybody just sort of congregated in there, and then we had our briefing from Danny, which was cool, just telling us sort of the do's and don'ts and what to expect for the night.
Yep. And then we head up another flight of stairs, so we're now on the second floor.
Yep. To our allocated room
where the rooms are, and as you go up, I mean, it's very dimly lit.
Yeah, very.
You need to have a torch, really, and it's purposely just to keep it dark, to keep that ambiance, to keep with the theme, which I think was great because it really did help sort of set the scene for what was to come.
But the good thing was, and the strange thing was that, as you know, before I was super excited to be getting there, and I was really excited. But there was no sort of like real dark vibe to the place. It all felt nice in there. I didn't feel any oppression or anything nasty in there, which was nice. It was just a nice building, really nice building.
Yeah.
But like you say, very dark, and we were warned that as the lights went, like the outside light went down, it was going to get super dark in there, and it did get super dark in there. Torches were needed everywhere because that was one of the things. You couldn't put like main lights on in the room purposely, except for like the bathroom areas. But so it kept that kind of dingy I say dingy, not in a bad way, but like a dark sort of atmosphere. So we were assigned room 2. everybody gets assigned a room as part of your booking. So we were in room 2 and walked in, and that is a weirdly decorated room. There's like, I think you mentioned it. It looked very much like the Babadook painted on the walls.
That's what it reminded me of, being in the room with the Babadook and that like basement kind of room in the Babadook.
It looked like something out of a horror film, that room. It really did. It was like weird foreign writing on the wall.
Each room's themed, and it was really, it is really good how they've done it.
Yeah.
Each room has a different theme, and each one's as creepy as the next one.
Yeah, very much so. It was super nice room. So we spent the sort of first half hour or so just sort of unpacking our stuff, just getting all of our bits together, and
getting set up ready,
and just sort of hearing the noises of the building and outside, because obviously it's a main road in Chester on a busy night. So with people walking past, there's buses going past, there was cars, so you got a feeling of what noises to expect just as standard, which was good. It's a good idea, especially as the floorboards are super squeaky. So if anybody was moving outside, you would be able to tell if something was outside, not necessarily a person, but something that was outside compared to being outside noise.
Yeah, and to be fair, there wasn't that much.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't that many cars or anything going past.
No, you get the odd bus go past. I think that was about the main sort of thing, wasn't it? And a kicking out point at one point, there's some kids walk past, but apart from that, the outside noise was quite minimal, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So then we moved on to the first room for proper investigation, and we moved on to one of my favourite rooms from watching the series, from where quite a lot of stuff's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Room 5.
Yes. So
the doll room.
The doll room. So yeah, it is a room that if you've watched the YouTube channel or any of the VHX stuff, it's one of the main rooms where there seems to be a lot of activity, and a lot of skeptics have gone into that room. Higgy Pop went in there, and him and his partner had some experiences in there. A friend of the show, Michaela, from Paranormal or What podcast, she's been in there and had experiences in that room. So we were quite excited to get in that room, and we went in there quite early on as well. So what happened?
Where to start? I mean, the room again, creepy dolls everywhere. It's the room, if you watch the show, it's where the doll keep falling off the little shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's the room where Brett caught that mist.
Yeah, in the sort of bathroom.
Which freaked him out enough to him just to leave the hotel without telling anybody.
He just noped out of there, didn't he?
He did. So we started just by, we set up, in fact, we didn't use our cameras at this point.
No.
We didn't have anything recording, just thought, let's just use ourselves.
Yep.
See what happens. It's the first kind of start of the night. Let's just get settled in. And we asked for anything in the room to let us know it's there. They can make any noise.
Yeah, the sort of normal stuff you would do on a paranormal investigation.
Yep. And then we get a thud coming from the bathroom door area of the room. So we hear a thud, and we ask again, was that you? Can you make that noise again? And there's another thud. Okay, 2 thuds, could be pipes. Let's just ask again. Just so we know this is you, can you knock twice so that we definitely know there's something there? A couple of seconds later, 2 knocks coming from the bathroom door area.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was early in the night. It's kind of, we're only just getting started, and we seem to be getting intelligent responses pretty much from the off.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was kind of the theme for the night for us, just as a top level view, was we were getting intelligent responses.
Yeah.
And we've talked about on a podcast before about how many times is a coincidence before it's not. And there's no way the stuff we were listening to in room 5 was anything coincidental, especially as it seemed to respond every time we asked it to. So much so that at one point we heard a double knock, and we're like, what?
Other side of the room, behind my left.
Yeah. And so the bit we haven't talked about was the fact that you get a walkie-talkie as part of your group. You're assigned a walkie-talkie, and whenever you talk into it, they know which group it is. Very organised, very
slick.
And
you don't know much about the hotel. They have 26 cameras covering every room in the hotel.
Did I think Harry said it was something like, was it 4,200 hours of footage a week?
Hours.
Was it?
Yeah, there's 26 cameras times 24 times 7.
Yeah, whatever that is.
45,000 hours of footage a week they gather.
Yeah.
And so now they're starting to control me while we're in the rooms, and then, like you say, you've got walkie-talkies, radio through to them, so we can get something happens, you can get them to check it straight away, rather than having to do it the next day or reviewing it hours later. You're getting stuff reviewed in real time.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's so cool.
And we were super organised that as soon as it happened, we tapped our phone, got the time. We either made a note of the time or just remembered the time. So then we could get on the walkie-talkie and we said, guys, we've just had like 2 big knocks. And because they're watching us in real time, Danny said to us at this point, where was the sound coming from? And like I was able to point where it was coming from, so Danny could see where it was. We could point directly, so when they're reviewing the footage, they could see if anything else was happening. So from that point of view, I found that probably one of the most amazing things I've seen on investigation ever. The fact that they could. So we said to Danny, this has happened. It's like, give me a few minutes. And then he comes back through on the walkie-talkie and say, hi, which after a few minutes of silence, that's quite a jolt for your senses. Somebody loud coming through a walkie-talkie to discuss what had been heard, what they'd reviewed. So Danny backed up the fact that there was noises coming from the corner of the room where we'd heard the intelligent responses, that they've not been able to explain where that sound is coming from. So that was something weird that was captured. And then we moved on to the 2 knocks behind Ash. It gets even more weird after this little incident. So 2 knocks by the door, the entrance door. And again, Danny said that they'd got footage, because there's all these cameras, of the time from outside the door when there's the 2 knocks. So we could be safe in our mind that nobody was knocking on the door at the same time.
And the room next to ours that backed into that wall was empty.
Yep.
So there's nobody in the room behind me. There's nobody in the corridor outside the door. Yeah, there's these clear as day, loud knocks on the door.
Almost like thuds rather than knocks. Yeah. That was the thing. These knocks, some of them were clear as day. They were clear as day knocks, not kind of like you're listening and listening and listening, going, did somebody hear that?
Yeah, it could be a bit from far away. This was in the room.
You could tell it was in the room.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Or at least on the door. In the case of the knocks on the door.
So we come out. So just as a side note, we come out afterwards and Danny has got the video clip already on his phone of both camera shots to show us, which was mad.
It's incredible. Mad. It really is.
So from that point of view, that that in itself is just a unique part of any paranormal experience a paranormal investigation, that I've ever been on, that I can get answers to stuff that's captured, that because we didn't have a device running at that point.
No.
So had there not been all the cameras and Danny there and all this kind of stuff, there people would have gone, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it would have been anecdotal.
Yeah.
It would have just been, oh, you went to this room and we heard these knocks and the knock on the door. It is anecdotal. It's one person said, oh, two people's testimony.
Yeah.
But to have the video footage where you can clearly hear the knocks, you can clearly see there's nobody there, there's nobody in the room next to us, nobody in the corridor. Yet these loud as day knocks on the door. So the proof, it's there. Like, it really is that there's something, whatever it is, like whether it's what we don't know what it is, making that noise. And we've not mentioned this yet, but just before the knocks on the door, so I was sat at the other side of the room to Greg. There was a clear sound of a baby wailing. It sounded like it's coming from like the other side of the wall to where we were. It was clear as day, and I looked over thinking he must be able to hear the baby. I was like, baby crying, like, no, they're like, couldn't hear anything.
No,
then we had Danny to check that, and Danny couldn't hear that on the cameras. So totally gutted about, because it's
yeah, that would have been insane to hear that. Definitely.
And just as a side note, when I was this afternoon, when I was reviewing all the footage from that I recorded, I listened to the stuff that we'll talk about in a bit. I started hearing the baby crying. So I had my headphones in. I started hearing the baby crying. I was like, is this on the headphones? Take your headphones off. It's in, but our building doesn't allow kids. It's like adult only. So I'm like, no one has a baby in this building. But they were just outside, like, walking across the front. Was a baby crying. I was like,
wow.
Fuck, I was like, I can hear this baby crying again. It's come home with me. But sadly that wasn't captured. Absolutely gutted that wasn't picked up on the audio, because it was loud. I do not know how you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. No, didn't hear it. And I was only sat like a meter away or so from you. It wasn't as if we were other sides of the room. So that, and just another side note, because we didn't record in that particular session, which I'm gutted about, really. Looking back,
I might call that baby as well. If my camera
on. That when things happen, we didn't get freaked out by it. We weren't screaming. Nobody really screamed. Didn't hear any screaming. But you'll hear a lot of bad language from particularly me, where I just keep going, fuck off. So just to be warned on any footage that you might hear, that there is a bit of a potty mouth coming from me.
I was quite surprised. It is creepy. And to think, I mean, I fully believe there was something in that room with us.
100%.
I have no doubt, but I didn't feel like shit, like there's something there.
No.
It didn't feel bad. It didn't feel like a bad thing.
It didn't.
Matter of fact, there's something with us that's responding to us. It is
and we're going, thank you for making this weird noise, whoever or whatever you are. Can you make it again for me? So it's, I didn't feel scared at all throughout the whole night. I was not scared at all, which was great.
Yeah.
Even when we get into room 8, which we'll talk about, which had the potential to be a horrible room, but wasn't.
Well, next, after all this in room 5, we head to my favourite room.
Yes.
This is room 6.
And bear in mind, guys, that this is about 9:30? Not even about 10 o'clock, maybe?
Yeah, getting towards 10 o'clock now.
So this is proper early days into the investigation. And the great thing is that you just sort of go around with the people that you're with. So there's another highlight. You weren't mixed in with all these other people.
It was a sold out night last night. There's quite a lot of people staying over. Every room was fully booked up.
Yeah.
But the way they do it is they have, obviously, got the different floors. You have rooms, which is sort of quite a long corridor. So they try to keep different groups away from each other, so to reduce any noise contamination from. Because if other people in other groups are asking for knocks and knocking, then it might be their knocks we're hearing.
Yeah.
But with that ones in room 5, Danny also said that like no one else was knocking in any other rooms or anything.
And that's the other good point, is that Danny can see, or Harry, or Brett. Brett wasn't there; it was just Harry and Danny last night. That they can tell whether or not it was something normal based on what they know is happening in other rooms at exactly the same time. So that was cool.
Yep. So we head to room 6, and we did a episode. In fact, it was a Facebook Live episode.
It was a Facebook Live, yeah.
Of something that happened in this room a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
With the white apparition outside the window. Really, really mad bit of footage. I just love this room. We got like the pentagram on the floor, the rocking chair in the middle. There's been quite a few knocks on the window been heard. EVP responses, plus obviously the apparition. And this is the room where Harry, in a lockdown episode, got quite emotional in the room.
Kind of a weird freak out, wasn't it? But yeah. Which is interesting because in the room with us, the person that was with us also had a bit of a negative experience. Nothing bad, but just felt, and you'll hear her audio on the longer version, but the fact that she felt like her energy was being depleted, which was odd as well. And
you see like something like something was pressing on her neck.
Yeah, sort of both sides, sort of like not squeezing, but just like pushing on her neck. So super weird. But again, you can hear that in the audio. So at that point, we ask. Well, first, before we even get to that point, we go over to the window because obviously this is a point of interest for us, and I cannot see how anything could be outside that window.
No, not at all.
Because very close to the edge of the window on the inside, on the outside bit of the inside bit, if that makes sense, it looked like it was like a set of bars or a room or something. So the way this apparition went past the window, it would have gone through a solid wall, and you still see it go up.
There's no way that was. Yeah, it does add it to the mystery of that footage.
I think we got the audio of us when we first get into the room talking about that as well. So that was weird. So we set up all the K2 meters on the windowsill, one down by we put one on the rocking chair, not rocking horse. You had your camera set up facing the window to see what we could get, and we started talking. And again, this neck compression thing took place, and she said that she's feeling depleted of energy and whatnot. So we ask out loud, are you the one that's affecting her? And plain as day, 2 knocks on the glass of the window.
Yeah, on the glass. Definitely
like a glass sound. Like a
glass.
knock. Yeah. So we've got the audio of that, which I'll play in a moment. If you're the one affecting, can you just knock on a wall or tap somewhere and let us know?
Thank you.
Fuck off. And then I come back and sort of, not in a nasty way, but I say, was that you? That was affecting her. So, it was a strange room.
And apart from that, nothing much happened. So we started to do an Estes method.
We did.
With the spirit box. I went and sat in the middle of the room on the rocking chair.
In the middle of a pentagram.
In the middle of a pentagram.
Everything that when you're a child, you would have nightmares about.
And so I become the vessel for the Estes method. And it's a little bit weird. I don't think of the answers. Obviously, I've not heard the footage back.
Yeah, the answers weren't really sort of in line with what we were hoping to hear.
But the only thing that what felt weird was it felt like someone had stood next to me. Where you sort of feel like, because I couldn't hear anything apart from the spirit box, you sort of felt like the floor depressed to the right of me, like someone was stood, and it felt like someone was stood towering over me. And I kept thinking, I want to look, because I feel like there's someone stood. I thought like Greg wouldn't do that, wouldn't come stand dead close to me while I'm doing this. It felt like someone was really stood, so kind of like I ended up edging away to sort of the other side of the chair, trying. Well, I kept, because I didn't want to stop the experiment to see if anyone was there. I just kept at it. I didn't feel good. I felt really uncomfortable, but.
And you put your arm out at one point and said, "I think that it feels like someone's standing there."
Mm.
And like you say, because of how well we know each other, I would know that you wouldn't do that to me. And like you say, you knew that I wouldn't do that, because that'd be a bit weird.
Mm. Yeah. I like to when you're doing it to, like, say when I put my arm out, so on the camera, we know it's at that point when I felt something. See anything lines up on the footage,
and that's the good thing with the Estes method, is that although you're waiting to hear communication, you can also have the conversation. Although you can't hear people, you can relay some stuff that you're feeling to other people in the room, especially if that will help with questioning later on potentially. So like where you said that you could feel there was somebody there, that's the kind of thing that you, as a person asking the questions, then you could potentially go down that line or not of questioning to try and establish what was going on. But yeah, like you say, it's a good indication for the cameras when you're sweeping through footage.
In fact, one thing that did happen that I've only just remembered was, I don't know if it was this that affected me the most, was it went like silent. Like this, like usually you hear the as it's going through the channels, and it just went like there's no background noise. This man's voice just went, "Thank you," and then it started up again. And so I was like, "Wow!" Like,
and it's funny because you did say that, so we probably have got that on audio as well, because I've got that.
Cool. That was just weird how it just like it's like the spirit box stopped, and then it said "thank you," and then just started up again. It was
weird,
clear. Like just went silent, background noise, and then clear as day, and then just carried on going.
No, that's cool. So from there,
then get a radio message from Danny.
Yep.
Asked us to go to the newly opened museum room.
Yes, room 7.
It's only opened last week, in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's just got a couple of items from the hotel that I believe to have attachments, and also people, fans of the show, have been sending in their objects that they think might be haunted to put in this room, just so they can have the cameras and they can monitor and see if anything happens. With that, so Danny messaged us on the radio to ask us to go into room 7, and he was going to meet us there and do an Estes method in the museum room.
Yes, so that was super cool.
It was.
So I will change my Facebook cover photo to me being the vessel for the Estes method, while Danny is filming it and asking questions. I'm assuming. I don't know if he was just standing there filming, because I could see a light, but
yeah, he's asking questions. I was asking questions. And having been a fan of Danny's and his shows, like going back quite a few years, to be doing like an experiment with him, that was really good.
And the good thing was, and it was the Estes method, because we know that he loves doing the Estes method. It's something that we found to have good results.
Yeah.
When we've been places, particularly Cannock Chase was a massive highlight for us for that. So yeah, to do that in a room, in a known haunted location, with Danny, with his camera,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
With multiple cameras.
Yeah. So we did the Estes method in there.
Nothing really. Again, nothing really came out. There's a couple moments.
Yeah.
He possibly said the word May, and one of the dolls in the room is called May.
Yeah,
but nothing too
no,
groundbreaking.
And I didn't feel like it. I mean, you can't hear the questions, but you can get a feel on what's coming through, because there was times I was straining to hear, and I was even saying to the spirits or whatever, I was saying onto the room, look, you need to be clearer when you speak to me, because I can't quite make out what you're saying. And I think that's important. Probably that some people, when they're doing paranormal investigations, they're a bit nervous, which I get, because it's a weird thing. Yeah. But where we've done it a few times and whatnot, you can at least try and have a conversation yourself to say, make the answers clearer to me. I can't quite hear what you're saying. But I could feel my face sort of like contorting quite a bit, because I was trying to figure out what was being said, if anything at all. There was a distinctive ha 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 laugh. But apart from that, I didn't feel like I just felt like I was saying random shit, to be honest with you.
And then we swapped, so I was doing it again as the vessel, and yeah, nothing.
No, it's one of those things. Sometimes you get stuff on it, and sometimes you don't, or sometimes you get really amazing stuff, and sometimes you don't. So,
what was weird about that room was it was really quite hot. In a lot of the
it's
rooms.
very hot. Yeah.
I think it's like 26 degrees at some point in some of the rooms. But in that room, I kept going really hot and then really cold. As you guys all seem to be staying warm.
Yeah.
I was hot. I took my hoodie off, and I had to put my hoodie back on because it was now gone cold. Then it went hot again, and then cold again. I didn't know what was going on, but
it was particularly warm in those rooms upstairs.
I don't think the windows open. I think they sealed the windows to try and minimise like outside.
Yeah, radiators weren't on though, so.
Plus, being the top floor, heat rises as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was our brief sort of stay in the museum room 7. And I think we went for a bit of a break after that, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a bit of a break, and then we went downstairs to the old brothel. And this is where things get really interesting now.
Yeah, absolutely. So fans of the show or fans of the YouTube channel will have seen this particular area of the first floor. And it's got a massive table, like a huge sort of dining room table in this brothel area, which is part of a bar. It looks side of the bar. With a big sort of like cart wheel as a chandelier type thing just above the table. Quite a like a menacing kind of, not menacing in a bad way, but like an imposing kind of decoration. And the table's massive. And again, it was dark. And I was sat at the head of the table, obviously, in a big throne. I felt quite at home there, I'll be honest.
And for this, we had the PowerCast device running, which is so fucking loud.
And quite freaky at times.
It's weird noises. I'm not totally sure how it works. It's similar to a spirit box, but so it has the frequencies.
I don't know. Yeah.
So it has like similar to a spirit box, but it seems to be a lot louder, a lot more. I don't say aggressive. It feels aggressive because
it did
fucking loud. I shit myself at one point because come on to it. It was silent. And all of a sudden, it's just like a big burst of noise from the PowerCast device.
Yeah.
So we had that going. Then I set up 2 of my cameras, plus the other like K2 meters, temperature gauges. We had a tri-field meter running.
Yep.
Voice recorders all set out on the table. So we sat down, ready to start doing some more calling outs in the brothel.
Yes.
And similar to room 5, pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
Stuff started happening.
Yeah, almost instantaneous. So in all the rooms we went to, one of the things that we did was we introduced ourselves by name. So in the brothel, I went first. I put my hand on my chest. I said, "I'm Greg." And what happened?
The Powercast says, "Hello, Greg."
And we've got that on video. So we'll play the audio. See what you think. It definitely was clearer in the room than it appears on the camera. But when you see the video footage, you'll see that we're quite shocked by the fact that it says what we thought it said. We need a clear sign from you that you're here with us. I'm Greg. Don't say I'm Greg. So that was literally one of the first few things we'd said, eliciting a response. So, and it rapidly escalated from there, really, didn't it?
Yeah. So you were sat at the head of the table. I was sat at the side, and then opposite me was the person with us doing the investigations, and we were all just sat there. And all of a sudden, it felt like the table moved, like the whole table shifted. So I was like, "Whoa! Did you feel the table move?" And the girl that was with us just says, "Oh, I thought that was Greg knocking the chair, like the table leg."
Mm-hmm.
And you say,
I was like, I didn't even feel the table move. I didn't hear anything or anything. And I demonstrated, I put my arms underneath the table. It must have been 3 foot before it get to the table leg. And bearing in mind, it's a big fuck off size oval table.
"Big
It's
heavy
not,
table."
it's not a table that you could just sort of like move quite easily. It's a huge bastard of a table.
And to demonstrate, I had to really put both arms on and really put pressure on to actually kind of move the table a little bit.
And incidentally, at one point, I think it's when the Paracast goes loud that you sort of like jolt and you can see you move the table. And that's the same sort of effect that actually happened. How weird is that?
What was that? A big blue
What?
thumbs up has just appeared over Greg's head. What was that?
What?
None of us are touching anything.
No, we don't. When it's only us two, we don't. You got a hands up sign. Let me do the hands up sign on. No, it just says Greg has something to say.
That's like a big.
It was like a big blue thumbs up just appeared,
God,
like a Facebook. That was at the moment we were just talking about the fact that you jolted, and that was when the table moved. It was that effect. What the fuck?
Oh, we're not recording video.
No, we don't record video, and this is the weird. This is a weird thing for people to not see, but to hear. So we just that came up at the same point that we were just discussing.
I got goosebumps. That was weird.
The table moving. How odd. Okay, so.
Oh no. So we played the footage for the table basically moving, and what I didn't realise was when I reviewed the footage today, I messaged Greg like, "Oh my god," because the camera
wasn't quite like that, was it?
Maybe a few more expletives than that, but clear as day, the table thuds.
Yeah,
and the camera's on the table, and the camera jumps as if something had hit the table from underneath.
I was going to say that's what it appeared, and we actually had a similar knocking sound from underneath as well a little bit later on. But yeah, it was almost like a poof from underneath, not just a lift or a knock. It was like a.
You can hear it loud on the audio.
Yeah, and you see the camera, but the camera, and you can see us all sat still. The three of us around the table, all sat still. So it's not like you can see somebody moves at the same time. There's none of that, and I didn't even know that it happened, which is weird because when I look back at the videos, how the fuck did I not see that or hear it?
I react to it. The girl we're with doesn't. And that's why I question it. She says, "Oh, I just thought Greg knocked the leg."
Yeah.
So she felt it, but just thought you just knocked it with your leg or something,
and
you like obviously hadn't. And then the footage just shows, it's like something underneath whacked the table.
It actually looks worse than it kind of appeared. That was the thing.
Yeah, because when I first watched it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I didn't know what was going to come up on the footage or what. Whether they even like notice the table moved on the footage, but yeah, it's proper.
12:13. That time was.
Again, that was not long after we'd started.
Yeah.
In the brothel room.
Really freaky, isn't it?
Did you do a table?
I thought it was great.
What?
Did you just get the table by accident?
No?
I felt the table just moved.
The whole table moved.
The table just moved.
Yeah, we started just after, 12:09. It sounded like, "Hi, Greg." Then 12:13, table creaked and moved. And then that's when, a little bit later on, you said, "I think that's what it said. Hello, Greg." Then about a minute later, what else happened? We had the 3 taps.
So this is a really, really compelling bit of footage that we've got. And the guys at the hotel have the footage as well.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's not just us, our audio, our sort of cameras, or us saying it. The hotel has this footage as well.
From their cameras. That's the thing.
From their cameras. So we've got multiple cameras and covering it.
Yeah, and that is the cool thing. You can see the cameras. There's no hidden cameras. There's infrared bulbs in the cameras, so you can see them in the corner of the rooms. There's nothing like hidden. They're not trying to catch you out, and they tell you that this is what the camera looks like. It's in the corners. And if you've watched the YouTube channel or any of the VHX stuff or seen it on Facebook, you will see the camera angles that we're talking about. And you'll see the brothel and the table from a different angle from above. You'll see how big the thing is. They've experienced chair moves there before. Things.
Yeah, it's clear footage of a chair just literally shifting in place and no one around it. And I think that was the chair I was sat in.
Yeah.
Was that chair which moved. So on this point, on this footage we'll play now. In fact, let's just play the footage. Yep. So, clear as day. Yep. The girl we're with says, "Can you copy me?" And she makes 3 taps. Almost a couple of seconds later, plays right back at us. The exact copy of what was asked to copy
instantaneously, nearly. So, yeah, we're obviously on the video. You can see that we're quite shocked by that.
You can hear Greg's response, particularly.
Fuck off!
It's just really insane because sometimes we ask for a knock and nothing happens. Like in one of the other rooms, we're asking for stuff and nothing's happening. And then we asked for these 3 knocks. So we hadn't asked for a while.
No.
So we said, let's change tack. Let's ask for knocks. And then literally, can you do this? And it repeats it right back to us.
And the thing is, I'm not. It's not a scared reaction. I'm like, I just can't believe this.
Can you try and copy me with all our urge you can find if you can? No. Thank you.
Just can't believe it.
It was surreal. It was really, really surreal. Like how, and it appeared to come from the bar.
Yeah.
Which was literally 1 to 2 meters away from us.
Yeah.
So it was something close. It wasn't like a distant knocking or like, it was literally 2 meters at most away from us where this knocking's coming from, and there's nobody. We have clear view. There's nobody there, but this knocking in the exact pattern and speed and exact replica of what we asked for. And then you ask again. So this one's a little harder to hear, but you say, can you knock again? That's us, and there's a bit of a faster tapping noise. It's just fainter. It's harder to hear that one, but it is on
there. So that was weird. And then we said about asking if it was the same person, and then on the Paracast it said yes, tap.
Yeah.
And it's just like
nothing. Are you the same person that was with us in room 5? Please tap once for yes.
Fuck, that's good, yeah.
Thank you. I think you just said yes. I was going to ask you to tap.
So, like we've said before in the podcast, if you can get one device capturing the evidence, that's cool. You get 2 devices capturing the same. What?
That thumb's back. That blue thumb just appeared next to your head again. Did you see it?
Oh, weird. Just wondered if it was. How odd.
What is happening?
No, I was just putting my thumb up to see if I can replicate, just in case.
So maybe it recognises you doing the thumbs up, and then it puts the thumbs up.
What was I just doing? I couldn't have been. Don't know.
But it's like, again, when we were talking about the intelligent response.
So if anybody uses Zencaster and has a similar experience, maybe you could explain it to us, which is the device or the program that we use to record the podcast on. I'm just trying to. I'm just putting my thumb up again, different angles,
trying to replicate it.
How weird! No, I can't seem to.
What is happening? So this point here, we played the footage for this now.
There we go.
Did you do it? Did it work?
There we go.
We figured it out.
But I don't. Maybe I have been putting my thumb up.
Okay, mystery solved.
Mystery solved. But just it was a weird timing.
It was that was
it's mental. And like I was saying before, to capture it on one device is cool. Capture it on 2 different devices, even better. We're capturing this stuff on our devices. We're capturing it on the hotel's cameras and getting stuff reviewed there and then. So we're on the mic, on the walkie-talkies, and the actual the control room is just behind us, just through the door. So yeah, it's insane.
And all this happened. We probably had 6 or 7 different things happening in the Brothel room. That's sort of the main stuff. And we were only in there about 40-45 minutes.
Yeah,
and we'd had multiple things happening, seemingly intelligent responses in the show, and again from straight away.
Yeah, weird
in the short period of time.
So so we sort of get to a point, and it appears that nothing from then. It sort of, and I noticed that we'd get like waves of activity, particularly, then it would be nothing. And that weirdly, that kind of coincided with like towards the end of our sort of session time in that particular area. So I don't know if it senses from us that we know we've been in there a while and we're going to be moving on soon. I don't know, but so Danny walks past. We're coming to the end of the session, and that's why I said, "Can we go into room 8 at all, please, Danny?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "There's just a group of people in there in a minute, just coming out." So we trundle off to room 1 for 10 minutes, just to kill some time, for want of a better phrase. But in the meantime, we take the Alice box with us as well.
Yeah, I like the Alice box. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it throws out these words. It comes up like when it's receiving a message, and it will say the word out loud, or say a sentence out loud. But I don't know how.
Yeah,
it works.
I'm not entirely sure myself.
But we were in room 1 for probably about 15 minutes, and nothing.
No.
We're getting words through on the Alice box, but it's just single words and nothing sort of made sense to what we were asking or relating to each other or anything.
And important to note that single words that meant nothing. Yeah. Interestingly, in that room, if you open up the wardrobe, if you're ever lucky enough to go there, see what you find there. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Won't give any spoilers to that, but yeah, very strange place.
Yeah, so we now trundle off to the famous room 8.
And what do we have to do before we go into room 8? What do we need to do?
There's a list of rules outside the room. You have to read the rules and then state out loud for the camera your name and that you agree to follow these rules whilst inside. And why do they have these rules?
So inside room 8 is one single object in a box on a podium, and the podium is surrounded by salt. There's a salt circle in there. You're not allowed to touch the box on the podium. You're not allowed to cross the salt circle. You're not allowed to antagonize, unless instructed to do so by one of the team, the object in the box. That they only let people in that have been on previous paranormal investigations, or some, essentially people that sort of know what to do, not just going to give up after a couple of minutes and go, well, sod this. So in the room, a very weird door. It's sort of like it's been sort of wooden bits that have been broken that have got the door behind it. So you open the door. There's a newspaper clipping about the object in the box to say that there are reports that it tried to stab a previous owner. I read the newspaper headline out on the audio, and in the room, in the box, is
the Grace doll.
And for anybody that doesn't know what the Grace doll is, this is a doll that appears to have at least one attachment to it that Danny has had in his possession prior to My Haunted Hotel. And if you follow some of the Haunted Hunt stuff that he's done in the past, he talks about it quite candidly on there, that this object has been in his house. It's moved whilst in his house. It's quite a strange object. It's the Grace doll. So it's this doll of a child. I don't know, like a small girl or something. Again, photo will go up on socials, and you can see it if you Google it. It's a very famous doll. Very famous doll.
So we're in this room with a doll. We got the Alice box with us, so we use that as the main kind of calling out tool.
Yeah.
Trying to get any responses. Also asking for knocks and stuff as well, which we didn't
get.
No,
we didn't.
But we got some interesting responses, words coming through.
Yeah, so before that, when we got the Alice box off Danny's like, well, I don't really, it's not my thing. I don't really put much into it. But it's another tool, or whatever you want to call it. And again, like Ash mentioned, it was throwing out single random words in other rooms that we'd use in room 1. So we're in room 8 and just calling out. And what comes through?
I think poltergeist is one of the first.
Yeah.
Which is always interesting word to get on a paranormal investigation, poltergeist.
Yeah. And interestingly, the words that we'd had before were just random words like grow, southern, adjective. Like, just weird nonsense. So to be in a room with a known haunted doll with a set of rules that we can't touch it or go over the salt circle in this very tiny room where Danny, during the lockdown episode, had a very bad experience with the doll, so much so that the doll called out his surname on camera, and he instantly goes back and shouts at it, and so they've got a relationship between them that night had quite a big impact on him. So to get the word poltergeist in a room with a doll with a known attachment to it was weird.
And then, not too long later, what comes through next is bad feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time multiple words came through together.
Yes. Yep.
It usually just says one word. Sometimes two words come through because it shows you on the screen what words coming through. If two words come through, it say one of them, and your one is just on the screen. Yep. This came through. The voice says it out loud. Bad feeling. So again, just a weird one to get through. Yep. Kind of negative. All the words seem to be more negative words rather than just random words. So bad feeling. So think, maybe getting a bad feeling about this this room.
Yep.
And then a few more minutes later, another a full sentence comes through, which was,
I was murdered. I mean, that is not something you'd expect. And it was that sentence. It wasn't just the words random. It was, I was murdered. And it said,
in one go,
I was murdered.
And again, previously it hadn't said more than one word at once. I mean, you've had poltergeist, bad feeling, I was murdered.
Yeah.
It's just weird we're in this room and we're getting these multiple responses, negative responses.
Yeah. And kind of, so some of our notes say previous responses were not even relevant. Like we said, adjective, southern, grow, those kind of just weird, nonsensical words. But these were definitely negative words and have some kind of relevance. I mean, you could argue that if it was a single word, you could go, oh, it says bad, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, it's quite negative in here, so that's where the word bad comes from. And like we discussed this in room one as we were doing it, that some of the line of questioning that people would use with the Alice boxes they get a word and go, oh, southern, okay, who's southern? And then you try and work your question in from word to word rather than just having your set process that you go through regardless of what word. But then to get these relevant ones was, and then a name came through, Jane.
In fact, it was Granny Jane.
Granny Jane, yes, it was Granny Jane.
Granny Jane. It's a little bit of a link because the attachment that the Grace doll has is a person called Jeanette. Yeah. Jane could be short for Jeanette, potentially.
Yeah.
Granny Jane.
And there was a very distinct smell of garlic when we walked in.
Yeah, quite bad.
And
quite pungent.
Wild garlic, I was told. Rather than shop-bought garlic, whatever the difference in smell is. A bit more of an earthy smell, I suppose. But there was a definite smell in there when you walked in.
Yeah, for sure.
But I didn't get any kind of, myself, I didn't get any weird vibes off the doll. I was quite happy standing in there for that time. I was asking, I came down to eye level with the doll and sort of said, can you move? Can you give us a sign? All these kind of things. Again, you'll hear it on the audio. but no, didn't get anything. And then right at the start, going right back to the beginning of the evening, Danny and Harry were like, look, we can't guarantee anything will happen anyway in any room, which is standard on paranormal investigation for definite.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that's one good thing with the paranormal stuff is you go in there a lot of the time on the ones I've been on, and sometimes a little thing might happen that you're kind of grasping at and going, what's that? And then other times, nothing at all. Like literally, if I've been on investigation, I've left, especially the local ones.
You can feel it. You just feel like it just feels like there's nothing
calm.
there. It just feels empty. And...
It's when you're in that situation, it's quite you kind of understand what we're talking about there. About it feels flat. It doesn't feel like anything's happening.
And saying that, after room 8, we headed back to room 5. We did. Where we initially had all the knocking and responses, and that was flat. Yep. That was empty.
Yep.
Nothing at all.
No, I think we had a few flickers on the K2 meter, but not.
That was in response to being asked to go near it as well.
But nothing like we'd experienced earlier.
And we had the Alice box still, and that went back to single words that just weren't related to each other. Just random. It's just literally someone's gone through a dictionary, picked the word, said it, flipped to another random page, picked the random word, said it. Like no sort of correlation.
Yeah,
it did feel like the Alice box was different.
It did definitely.
For me,
it definitely had more
life.
Yeah, ironically, but it definitely felt like there was more control over it for whatever reason. And essentially, it's just an on-off button on the side. It's no more complex to use than that. You just put it on the wall or put it on the side next to you. So, it all just went quiet at that point, really, didn't it? Like it just felt like it'd gone calm.
Yep, and that's where we ended the night in room 5.
Yeah. So I don't know, where did we go after that? We just came back down to So we were very fortunate enough that before we left, we managed. So this is like 1:30, 2:00 this morning. We were fortunate enough. I say fortunate enough, we'd pre-agreed to do it, but still at that point we were fortunate enough to get Danny and Harry alone in the brothel after everybody had gone to bed or gone home, for a bit of a chat, and we had a good conversation with Harry because
it's cool because like I said, we spoke to Danny a few times on the show, but to speak to Harry and hear his history, because that's what I wanted to find out, was how we don't really hear much about his history, so it's cool to speak to him and find out his whole sort of thoughts and sort of background into it.
Yeah, and weirdly, as a link to all the other stuff we talk about, off record, not even off record, it wasn't a secret, but not off of recording, he said that it had 2 UFO experiences as well. I think it's in 2 UFOs, so kind of ties in with everything we talk about. So that was cool. And then we had a bit of a chat about the US congressional hearings very briefly, which was quite a random thing to talk about at 2:30 in a haunted hotel in the morning.
So that's how we ended the night.
And we'll at the end of that, when we wrap up here, we'll play that to finish the episode off. But that was a good conversation, both Danny and Harry. So unfortunately Brett wasn't there, so it would have been good to speak to Brett.
We'll have to go back.
So okay, would you go back?
100%.
Yeah, same. It's a matter of when can we go back, not if we can go back. Yeah. And that
hopefully soon.
And that's what somebody had said to us. Well, actually, we had a conversation with Mike, Mike, and he said, when or if you go back, I'll come. And it's like, we'll have to all go type thing. And it's like, it's a when, it's not an if.
Yeah, definitely.
Would...
And I'd like to stay the whole night. I would like to stay over.
Yeah.
And just see what anything happens during the night, and have like a camera on standby or something ready to.
I got so this is the other weird bit that I didn't know, that when the people who decided not to stay, and they're going or whatever, because you get the room till midday the next day, but you don't have to stay if you don't want to. You can go or whatever. When you get to that point and everybody's decided what they're doing, Brett, Harry, Danny, or whoever's in that night, they go home. So you're essentially locked in the hotel from the outside, well, locked from the inside, so you can get out, but nobody can get in, essentially. That you're in the haunted hotel on your own with the other people there.
But if no one, if say all your other groups decide to go home, you could literally be the only people in the hotel.
Yeah.
That, even saying it freaks me out. I would love to do it, but I don't think I could. Yeah. I would absolutely love to, but I don't know.
That'd be cool. Because you get the option to have the cameras keep rolling overnight. But obviously, if you don't and something happens, you won't have anything caught on camera. Which, like we said right at the start of the podcast, that it becomes a bit of a anecdotal type thing. Like he said, she said type thing. And there's no real proof. And it's like, oh, this is bullshit. But I went in there with high expectations.
Yeah. I've literally watched every single episode of the YouTube on the VXS channel. And fell in love with the show. I mean, the guys are great and what they're doing is great. Like I say, going in with high expectations, and it was exceeded. And just getting all the what happening was just like a bonus.
Yeah.
To it. I mean, if we were there one night and nothing happened, I probably would have enjoyed it just as much. Because we had all these things happening, it was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and it all just seemed to follow us all the way. I don't know if it followed us or it was in these different places anyway. But to get similar like tapping responses, and it's very hard to describe that you go, well, it's a tapping noise. These weren't random tapping noises. These were responses to what we were asking it to do. It was doing it on our sort of command.
When we asked for 2, it gave us 2. We asked for 3, it gave us 3.
Yes. Once for yes, 2 for no, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was. We were hoping for a doll to fall over or something, but that didn't happen. Certainly not that we heard about that night. But yeah, I would go back in a heartbeat. Definitely. So yeah, if you've been thinking about it, go for it. Definitely. And you have the night that we had, you won't be disappointed. We won't be.
So thank you for listening to our recap of our investigation. Like I said, we'll have all the audio, the raw audio files. So hearing our thoughts as the night goes on our Patreon. That'll be out in the next couple of days. But for now, enjoy our interview with Danny, Moss, and Harry from My Haunted Hotel.
Evening with Harry and Danny. So thank you guys for an entertaining evening. I know we've been to other places before, but we've definitely had some good sort of intelligent responses to a lot of stuff, and I think that's been really positive, especially in room 5. That was our favourite. Wow, and room 6. And it was great to see the Grace doll after all this time speaking to you, Danny, on previous podcasts about it. So one of the bits that we noticed was in room 6, where that footage went, we talked about on the podcast, outside the window, that whatever it was went sweeping past. So we checked out the outside of the window, and I can't see how anything could have sort of gone past the window and up like it seemed to do. Have you had any sort of more instances where there's been like an apparition or something go past the window or anything major in that room?
Nothing at all, since really, is there? I mean, I was convinced at the time it was a owl or a seagull somehow, but it's the way it disappears. But since then, nothing at all, other than we're getting some responses on the window, but no apparitions or nothing.
Yeah, obviously this Sunday coming up, we are releasing our episode where we open the doors to the debunkers.
Yeah.
And in that episode, for those who aren't on the subscription, you'll get to see a bit where we try to debunk it with guests. So we put a torchlight in the window from across the courtyard. Brett actually hung out with a plastic bin bag as well. The bin bag actually shows up still black in infrared though, which is weird, and we just couldn't replicate it at all. So it remains a mystery, doesn't it?
Because in room 6 earlier, Kelly said she wasn't feeling. She was feeling a bit sort of negative, and wasn't calling out. And then Ash started to do before Ash started doing the Estes method, sat in the rocking chair bit in the middle. I said, if you're affecting Kelly, can you knock on something or whatever? And it was clear as day for us that the window, something knocked on the window twice, clear as day. And then I went back and I felt not angry, but I was quite certain and said, are you the one that's affecting Kelly? So it was like we'd all had sort of a weird kind of vibe, because I know you've been in there in one of the lockdowns, and you went.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because obviously from the outside, people who don't know us felt like some people said we were acting that night. I generally felt horrible and narky, and you've experienced it yourself.
Yeah.
It's not normally like me, but it's the only room in the building that I always feel apprehensive in. I'm quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Grace room, and because we've been using the Alice box for a little bit, we've only been getting sort of one-word answers, nothing really collating. And we went into the Grace room with the Alice box, and we got poltergeist, we got I was murdered, and bad feeling. And it seemed that all the responses were like negative and also multiple words rather than just one word. Like I was murdered to come up was just like.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Crazy. It just seemed to be really just negative once we were in there with the Alice box. And then when we went outwards and we went to a different room with the Alice box, we went back to just sort of random nothing words that don't really make sense. But it seems to, in the Grace room, it was like, it just seems to be negative words coming through. And
yeah, I think with the Alice box, it's a device that, you use and try to get other things happening at the same time. I don't really put much validity into it at all. I mean, I've had some very strange responses only in this building through that. But, I mean, from a skeptical point of view, you just cannot class it as evidence as such. There have been occasions where the Alice box has brought through the word knock in room 5, and then it was actually followed by a knock immediately afterwards. So that kind of, it makes it more interesting. But as a paranormal investigation tool, it's just one to kind of experiment with. You can't really put anything substantial into it.
So what do you feel has been the best sort of experiment that you guys have done that seems to have reaped the best reward? Because I know you like the Estes method, I know, Danny, but I just wondered if there's anything else.
For me, when we create low bass tones in here, it seems to vibrate the fabric of the building, and a lot more things tend to happen. Now, obviously, it'd be great to do that every day, but it is an ongoing experiment. We're in just over a year, or 18 months now, isn't it, Dan? So we're trying other stuff all the time, but definitely the more noise and the more vibration you can cause in the building, for me, and we hear stuff in real time, that's when I feel it gets really interesting.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think, the brown noise, the hertz frequencies that really do vibrate everything here. It definitely has some sort of effect. That's probably the one pattern that we are seeing. There's a lot of residual stuff that happens here on a weekly basis, and it's just constant. So the footsteps upstairs, the knocking on the room 5 door, that stuff happens over and over and over again. And then if you're really lucky, which obviously you guys got to witness a bit of that tonight, is the intelligent response as well. But in terms of a residual point of view, you would never really notice it happening without the cameras. And that's why Harry's idea is working so well, because you realise how much you actually do miss on a paranormal investigation. Like for you guys, if you were never in room 5 at that exact moment, you wouldn't have got that phenomenal session. But without the cameras, no one would ever know that existed.
Absolutely. And it was, what I found has been really good this evening is where we got the walkie-talkies, and we've been time stamping everything and then just calling through to you guys and saying, look, this is what we experienced at this time. And it gives you guys the opportunity to have a look back, see if there's anything. And like you showed us the 2 knocks on the door on room 5 and from the corridor as well. So we could see there was nobody outside unless it was somebody spiritually outside.
It's great. I mean, the plan is to do a few on the road trips to go to other locations. But one thing, it's like when you go to a football match and someone scores a goal, you may miss it and you miss the action replay instantly. It's kind of what it feels like here. We can replay that straight away and obviously see if it's valid or not. But when we do on the road, you won't have the luxury of so many cameras, and we'll definitely miss it if we do capture something and then, it's not on camera, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite easy for us in other locations to set up 4 or 5 locked-off cameras. To have 24 in the exact places where everything happens is just a real luxury. But yeah, I think for us, one of the best things about this whole project is doing exactly what we've done tonight, filming it on our phone or getting people in the control room and actually showing you what happened in real time. It's just amazing to see the look on people's faces when they realise that it is unexplained.
Yeah, I think that for me has been one of the highlights is to be able to just communicate and like you say, see it back almost in real time, like VAR essentially.
Yeah.
And you're going, well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But everything that we seem to have experienced tonight, I can't explain. I don't know about you, Ash.
We can't explain it. No. That's why it will be on the highlights of one of our shows only. So
yeah.
I wanted to ask, because Danny's been on the show a couple of times. We know quite a lot about Danny. Harry, so I guess you were on the hotel, I think about 10 years about it now.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it that attracted you to the hotel, and did you have an interest in paranormal before?
I've always had an interest in the paranormal. It all started from a book I think my mum and dad got me called The Unexplained, which you had the brown lady, a famous picture of is it the brown lady? Dan?
Yeah.
Standing on the staircase, and different things like spontaneous human combustion and stuff. And it kind of intrigued me at the time. And then it wasn't until about 13 years ago, my brother paid for us to go on a paranormal event with a famous, the biggest paranormal group in the UK. And it was kind of, they had 90 people paying £90 a person. So I was like, oh my God, I can make so much money out of this. I loved the venue we went to. I didn't enjoy the group sessions and going around in big groups. So the next day I set up a company called The Resting Place Paranormal. I had a van with it all logoed up. Started doing venues throughout the UK, and I quickly got bored of having to look after a big group of people and then driving back home to Liverpool at the time. I thought, we were going about the paranormal hangover. I was done for the next day. So I started looking for locations nearby. I had a business in the Chester Grosvenor shopping centre here at the time, and I used to look around, came across here, started coming in for like chips, egg and beans of all things every day. And I got speaking to the landlord and asked him if I could hire out the hotel and do a few events here, and he was more than happy, and I was kind of blown away with the activity that happened in here, even at them early stages. Stuff that, you go to paranormal locations and nothing happens 90% of the time. This place was so active. I asked the landlord if I could put some cameras in some of the rooms, and he said, well, actual fact, I'm losing money every week and I'm getting rid of it. So, bit of a win, really. I ended up buying the place, kind of blagging my way through it, because you go through a protocol of why you're suitable for this type of building and stuff. And ended up taking over a business that I knew nothing about, never pulled a pint in my life, and quickly realised that it was struggling really bad, and I couldn't concentrate so much on the paranormal side. I had to concentrate on figuring out the business and making it work, because I almost lost everything about 2-3 times here. So it wasn't until lockdown, when I'd had enough of the business, my father-in-law said to me, what do you want to do? And I said, well, this was the aim from day one, to put the cameras in here and film everything going on, and more so to live stream it, wasn't it? And he said, well, if you're going to do it, now is the best time to do it while the hotel's closed and everything. So I ended up getting a little bit of a paranormal team who were really bad to watch on camera, really boring, and lucky enough, I'd known Danny for about 5-6 years previously to that, and I've known Brett for a bit longer. I got in touch with Brett first of all, and then it was actually Brett's idea. He said, why don't we get in touch with Danny? I said, he's on Amazon, he's doing all his own things. I don't think he'll come along with this project. And lucky enough, things have slowed down, and we had a bit of a break from what you were doing, and I mentioned the idea again to him. I had some 3 times before that, but he was so busy at the time, and it just all clicked into place, really. And then my haunted hotel was born. So
phenomenal. And like tonight was sold out.
Yeah.
And I know it's difficult to get slots, and I'm part of the My Haunted Hotel group on Facebook and the chat there. Everybody's really excited about coming. And I know the group that's been there, a large group, they've been before, and so we know Michaela from
Paranormal
What podcast. She's been a few times. She loves it here. So yeah, we've been itching to get up here, and we luckily it all fell into place, times and dates and stuff for us. So yeah, we've had a great night, and the fact that we don't go round, like you said at the start, we don't go round as part of a group set where we go. We're just kind of doing our own thing, so going to the different rooms, but not with a purpose that, okay, in that room you're table tipping, in that room you're doing whatever.
Yeah, it's very different here, very unique, and I don't think there's anywhere else in the country that does it like this. Just probably why it is so popular, and the fact that everyone kind of gets the highlight reel of the week as well. It's just, yeah, we were just trying to sort of, I think we're very happy with it, aren't we? There's a few things that need ironing out. YouTube is obviously a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes. Yeah. But, it's a bit of a dream come true. I mean, I know Harry's had this dream for a long time, and the things that we're actually capturing on camera, I mean, personally for me, it's incredible, because this is what I live for, is to try and capture this type of evidence. And I think it will just go from strength to strength, hopefully. And I just wish it was a bit more well known than it. It is very, very popular. It's become like the number one place, but we're not exactly where we want to be at this stage.
Yeah, it's frustrating seeing some people's content that is on YouTube at the moment, and we believe ours is one of the, well, if not the best out there, and it's so difficult to get recognised, really. But we've come a long way in the time, like 18 months, so.
Yeah, still very new.
We've all got big ambitions.
Yeah,
so
I mean, compared to other, like you say, there are lots of people on social media and YouTube trying to be the next paranormal team. and there are some shockingly bad stuff out there. We've probably interviewed a few of them as well.
What was important for us is to make it a little bit different. Obviously, the format's completely different than what anyone else does, but the fact that you get to see the real us and we have a bit of humour, it's not all dark and demons and serious. I think people can see that we actually enjoy what we're doing. We all get along. I said Danny's like a brother to me at the moment, it was important for me to have that in the show as well.
That comes across, I think, especially in the videos where you three are sat in front of like the cameras, in front of the TV, reviewing some of the camera footage and that, and there's definitely a genuine bond.
I think it appeals to a larger audience, not just a paranormal audience. And there's a lot of people we know who've never really been interested in ghosts or what have you, and watch it for us now, which is quite cool, isn't it? So
I think if we can target a more sort of wider variety of audience, because I mean it's no secret that some paranormal audiences you can never win with them really, but if we could just target the average Joe, who's not necessarily into the paranormal, but they get into it and go, oh, I can get on board with this. It's real. It's it's a bit funny. It's a bit weird. Cool. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thanks guys for taking the time to chat with us. That was a great night. It's been awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a long time coming to meet you, Danny, as well.
UFOs next, mate.
UFOs are the next big thing, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be bigger than ever now, isn't it?
So we're, we have to organise that. So, but thank you both. Do really appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Pursuit of the Paranormal with Ash and Greg.